So in today's Academy lesson, we're going to talk about one of my favorite passes in the Dribble Pass. So this adds to the exponential that I've created for myself here on the Academy, where recently I've talked about different passes. This one is a pass with the cover of a dribble. So dribble is this action here, and you're going to be hiding a pass in the action of a dribble. It's a very deceptive pass, and one that even if the spectators catch a glimpse of what's going on, they're not really going to see much because it's going to be attributed to the action of the dribble itself. So for this particular pass, it's important that you've established the dribble as something that you've done naturally so that when you actually do a dribble, it doesn't seem out of place. So for this, you have the spectator touch any card. Let's say you want to control the Jack of Diamonds, of course, in the action of squaring up the deck and giving the deck a little bit of a dribble. You've controlled that card right to the top of the deck. Now you could dribble the cards and then do the pass on a second dribble. That's another way of performing this. But let's get into the actual technical aspect of the control itself. So for this, you're going to obtain a pinky break above whichever card you need to control. So in this case, we're going to control the Joker that I'm going to leave face up. And we're going to get into the mechanics of a classic pass. So for this, our thumb is going to contact the bottom half of the deck. So notice that there's a separation of our pinky. Our thumb is going to contact that bottom half. Now we're going to carry out the mechanics of a classic pass while dribbling the cards. That's going to be the action that we're going to try to approximate here. So when we combine the actions of the classic pass and a dribble, we notice that it hides very well in the action of the dribble itself. So let's go over the actual technical aspects here. You're going to clip this top packet between the ring finger and the pinky. Your thumb is in the back here, making sure that you are gripping this bottom half. And also the fingertips have the most pressure on the lower half of the deck. So the top half of the deck really is just there because of its position. However, most of the grip of your hand from your left hand and your right hand is holding on to the bottom half. Now notice that I'm bending the deck slightly. This is to cover the angles. Now this is a newish deck. However, on somewhat reasonably worn-in decks and when the deck is in a staggered fashion, such as after you have finished closing the spread, you notice that there are going to be some cards off cue. That's going to be perfectly fine. However, you could hide the break by just putting your thumb underneath and squeezing the pack just to make sure that they don't see any sort of break from the side here. So that's a little bit of a hot tip. So what's going to happen is that you're going to clip this top packet with the ring finger and the pinky, and you are going to bring this lower packet over this packet as this packet gets put underneath. So I'm clipping these packets right here, moving this up and out of the way so I could lift this packet over. At the same time that this packet clears this one underneath, I'm in the perfect position to dribble the cards and continue the dribble, having this very free and open position with my hands. At speed, it should just look like I've dribbled the cards onto the deck. I'm very open with the positioning of my fingers. I'm not hiding anything. And this is a move that could be done in the open. And even from the bad angle, you notice that the spectator is going to be hard pressed to see anything take place. So if the card's cut into the middle, the spectator is not going to see much, even from an extreme angle. So from the front, you see that there's a little bit of an action there. However, the spectator is going to attribute that to the action of the dribble itself. So from this angle, it's the same thing. Once you accomplish the move correctly, you're going to notice that this is pretty much a pass that could be done almost completely surrounded. Now, that is the merit of it. However, you don't want to abuse it because this action could be a little bit suspicious when overdone. So let's go over one more time here. We're clipping. We are extending this packet, so we're pushing this packet through this top packet over here. Once this packet clears, notice that my fingertips are bringing this packet back down to be put in the normal mechanics grip in my left hand. And finally, I'm in the right position with my thumb to just dribble the cards and end the actual pass itself. So one more time, super slow motion here. It's kind of hard to do slow, but I'm trying to do my best here. You notice that the action of that first packet falling is covered by the action of the dribble itself. So at speed, it should just look like this. That's how the move looks like at speed. Let's see if we could do a little bit of a transposition here. We got the 2 of spades, we got the 8 of hearts, and of course, with a little bit of a dribble, they change places. Of course, you never want to do that, but that's just for the added emphasis of this particular move to show you what's possible with it. So a couple ways to get into the actual move itself. So you want to come in from a sort of messy position. So after you spread the cards, you don't want to square the cards up entirely because that's going to cover the action of the dribble that much more. Now you can do it from a perfectly square deck of cards. However, it's something that I rather do from a staggered and messy position. So it adds to this messy disarray and show that there's no control that you could possibly have over the cards in this sort of position. One way to do this move as well is to have the spectator call stop. And you are going to have the spectator look at the jack of clubs in this case. Now here is a little bit of a weird body language sort of action because I'm going to bring these halves together and then dribble the cards. So the perception is that I dribbled these cards on top of this half, thus burying their card in the middle. However, I've hidden a pass in the middle of that action. So let's do that one more time here. In this case, we have the ace of clubs. I'm going to bring these halves together. When I bring them together, I'm going to get in preparation for the actual dribble pass itself. So that when I come up and dribble the cards, the perception is that as an afterthought, I just dribbled the cards directly on top of the card, thus proving that that card is going directly in the middle of the deck. That's kind of the body language for this. You could even say to the spectator, sir, call stop anytime you want. Right there, perfect, good eye. There's the king of diamonds. As a matter of fact, I'm going to leave all these cards directly on top. I don't want you to think that I'm doing anything sneaky to the deck, sir. And of course, in that action, guess what? Their card is right on top of the deck, ready to do whatever sort of odd cardistry move you want. But that is the dribble pass and a couple ways to get into it. It's one of my favorite passes because of its versatility and because of it's well covered. So you're going to be able to do it pretty much from most angles. And whatever little thing the spectator is going to see, they're going to attribute it to the actual dribble itself. Just make sure that when you are dribbling the deck, it's something that you've established as a natural action. So it's something that you've done, you know, just holding the deck, you've just dribbled the cards. So that when you actually execute the dribble pass, it becomes hidden within your natural actions with a deck of cards. But that is the dribble pass, and I hope you guys do it. I hope you guys perform it. Thank you guys for being part of the Academy. As usual, I hope to see you on the next lesson.